What up, y'all?
Hello.
So a lot of sports ball question or
Yeah.
discussion going on while folks were waiting for all this, I guess, huh?
It looks like it.
So welcome to the September Patron-only Ask the Elephant, i.e. Q&A, for those that are new that don't normally take part of this, but hopefully folks are showing up because, well, we asked them to specifically for this one. So we're going to do the Ask the Elephant aspect of this afterwards. And by afterwards, I mean, we want to go ahead and for those that are listening on the RSS feed for patrons only on the podcasts, we figure we would go ahead and bust out this. And that way, if they don't want to listen to the whole thing, whatever, that's fine, right? So, So I had this big thing written up that I was going to read and all that, but instead I just made a bunch of notes, and you did too. And so, yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, thanks everybody for being patrons, because without y'all, we're not even to the point of running a patron drive. So thank you everybody from the bottom of our hearts, truly. Thank you all for supporting what it is that we create and what it is that we do, and having confidence and faith in us and all that.
Yes, because like you said, without our patrons, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are right now.
Right. So the show is growing, as y'all know, obviously, in terms of quantity and hopefully quality as well, but also by way of listeners and viewers. So to give you guys some numbers, because I tend to, pull back the curtain. We tend to pull back the curtain a bit during these more in-house private things. So for the longest time, we have hovered between 8,700 and 8,900 podcast subscribers. And for the longest time, I mean like months. It just, we couldn't seem to get over that hump. However, this month, especially in the last 2 weeks, or actually in the last 5 days, we have finally eclipsed 9,000 subscribers. And apparently 9,000 wasn't good enough. We just hit 9,400 yesterday. So that's a pretty sizable increase in the last week. So that's exciting.
It is.
And we've hit 4,200 and change as far as YouTube subscribers, which is still relatively tiny. I mean, it still blows my mind that 4,200 people, but at the same time, you look at, there are people I subscribe to that have 7-figure subscriber base. I'm just like,
boom,
just blows me away. So nonetheless, the point is we're growing, which is awesome, as well as the quality and the quantity of the show is growing, and we would like to continue on that path.
We would, but we're kind of at a crossroads.
Yeah, we really are. So kind of just some background, and most of y'all already know this stuff, but just to, call a spade and lay it all out. So I chose to leave my job at the end of May, or just before HeavyCon last year. I just couldn't take it anymore. It had very little to nothing to do with the show, and had everything to do with my mental health and quality of life, and just being miserable and making everybody else around me miserable. So I quit. And the weekend before I quit, Amanda and I had a serious talk, and you had said that, hey, why don't you take a couple of months and produce the show full time? And try that and just see how it goes, and see if it's even something that you would even like to pursue down the road. Well, here we are now, coming up on the end of September, and this just in, I really like it. I really enjoy it, and it's given me some freedom to produce more content, but also there's a number of folks behind the scenes that we've been working with that have been coming up with different content that we want to be able to produce. And that's the plan. However, fact is, as successful as the Patreon is, and it's wildly successful, it's amazing, it's nowhere near where we need it to be for me to be able to do this full time. Now, that might not be a goal for you guys. I get that. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But it is for me now. I want to be able to create this content and the different content that we have planned. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that here coming up full time. But the fact is, we've been living off of our savings, which is what the intention
That's what it was for. Yes.
And, but we've gotten to the point to where we're like, okay, we have to either, it's the level of the quantity of content has to be matched by the quantity of the money we're making through Patreon is what we're saying. So that's why part of the reason for the Patreon drive. So yeah, that's kind of the impetus behind it, as well as we didn't want to run a Kickstarter or a Indiegogo or any of those things because we already had a successful Patreon running. And y'all have, this isn't news for any of y'all, but we haven't really, we've done things our own way.
Yes. Always.
The entire history of the show, it's been on how we want it made, with input from y'all, obviously, but also on our terms. And we feel that Patreon is the right way to go about doing this as opposed to Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because it's made for artists, creators, fill in the right word, whatever you want to call us, media, whatever. So we figure we would do it that way. Now, we are missing out by the huge publicity that Kickstarter brings, but it still feels like the right direction for us to go, right?
Yeah, it does. It really feels like that. And we want to kind of blaze the path sort of when it comes to Patreon anyway. So we want to see if we can
continue blazing
doing it. Yeah. So like Edward said, we're going to have a patron drive. It starts Saturday, September 30th, and goes up through the day before we leave for Essen, which would
technically the day we do leave
for Amsterdam, which is the first leg of our trip over there, on Friday, October 20th. So almost a whole month, but about 3 weeks.
3 weeks, dead on 3 weeks.
So in that, we have kind of redone the patron levels.
Oh, not kind of. We have
completely
everything about Patreon is getting completely revamped.
It's got to taken a big facelift.
Yes. Which obviously is going to affect all of you. Now, the levels that are going away, I have already talked to all of those people. I have already sent messages to all of them. So we think that all the levels that we have spent the last 10 weeks or so with some other folks behind the scenes going over and completely redoing everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through all those now for you guys. Now, there's going to be a graphic for everybody that's watching, but I am going to read everything also for those that are listening to the podcast. So our goal is to be done with this aspect of the Ask the Elephant in half an hour, so bear with us with that. We appreciate your all's attention because you guys play a huge part coming up after we go over all the Patreon levels. So let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. That's first cough today. Yep. All right. So the $2 level, I'll be honest, our baseline is our $5 level. The $2 level is there for other folks that either can't or choose not to give at the basic level. So we wanted to do something for those folks. So at the $2 level, or it will be renamed the Indian Elephant, our ongoing gratitude for your continuing support. Thanks. All the great content that you've been getting for the last few years listed on our patrons page on the Heavy Cardboard website, and early access to t-shirt design in the Heavy Cardboard store a week prior to public release whenever we do make a new design. In addition to that, during the month of October, well, technically starting September 30th.
The last day of September and the rest of October. We are going to give Slack channel access to every patron at the $2 and up level. Everybody at $5 already gets it, but we're going to show everybody at the $2 level if you guys want to join it. I'm going to send an invite to all y'all. and give you guys access to it for the month. So yes, it's kind of a teaser. Ooh, here's what you could be getting.
Ooh,
yes,
shiny.
I get that. But at the same time, to show y'all what the community's like that has grown up in the Slack channel.
Yes.
So that's the $2 level.
The friendships that have been made and everything in there. It's really quite special.
Yep. All right. So now we're going on to where the major changes begin.
Yes.
Amanda?
The $5 level, the African bush elephant is what we're renaming it. We're going to have exclusive Patreon only access to our Slack channel.
Which that's not news.
Right.
I mean, it's been that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all right. Here, let me make this bigger for you. There you go.
Okay, so basically the Slack channel is like a perpetual chat room. It's got us and all your fellow elephants in there. There's always somebody awake, always somebody talking.
Yeah,
because it's around the world.
Yeah.
Exclusive Patreon only access to a monthly private video chat with me and or Edward.
Yep, kind of like what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right.
Exclusive Patreon only voting for upcoming playthroughs.
Which our goal is to do 1 a month, possibly 2 during the patron drive.
Exclusive Patreon only access to the Heavy Cardboard Glory to Rome sessions, which will be live stream playthroughs that are live, uncensored, and not safe for work.
Yeah, so we haven't done any of these yet, but next week is when we're going to start doing these. They're not going to be often. It's going to be once a month, maybe twice a month. And it's not going to be anything gratuitous. It's just, instead of having to use the Glory to Rome board, we're just going to tell people to go fornicate with themselves and just talk normal and less editing is really all it is.
Seriously.
But it should be lively and entertaining.
Definitely.
For sure.
So then there's also going to be access to purchase selected Patreon exclusive swag in the Heavy Cardboard store, including challenge coins. We have Patreon exclusive t-shirts. This year's design is by the one and only Ian O'Toole.
Which that's pretty exciting. So Ian's a patron, for those that don't know, and we have reached out to him. He's busy with work right now, but he said when he's done with his current project, he is going to design a t-shirt for patrons. And we're going to make that available to all patrons, regardless whether you give $1, you give $100, $200, whatever a month. You guys are the only ones that can buy it. It's going to be in the store. The store is getting a ginormous overhaul because everything that we're talking about here is with the patron drive. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Just know that there's going to be a ton of stuff in the store, which includes the patron-only t-shirt, challenge coins, and other stuff.
We're going to have also, you're going to get a free Patreon geek badge. And then I'm also going to design a Heavy Cardboard inspired wallpaper once a month for your desktop, your phone, stuff like that.
All right. So I know the question's going to come, and Yorick has already asked it. What are challenge coins? So challenge coins come from the military. So I'm a Marine, and some units have what's called challenge coins. They're, I don't know, like 1 3/4 inches across. So, you can, for the metric folk, you can figure that out. So they're pretty good sized coin that has, they're metal and epoxy and resin and all this stuff. And it's basically a keepsake type thing, but also whenever we do meetups at various conventions and everything, starting at Essen, actually, if somebody has their challenge coin, you're out at the bar, right? And there's a group of us elephants out there. You throw your challenge coin down on the bar, and anybody that cannot produce a challenge coin has to buy a round. That's the historical aspect of it when it comes to the military. And it's just, it's a cool coin to show basically that you're in the cool kids club.
Yeah.
Like you're a part of that group, whether it's a squadron in the Marine Corps or an infantry unit, or in this case, a part of the herd. So yeah, that's what the challenge coins are going to be. So yeah, Amanda designed it. So that's, we're excited about it.
Yes.
And when you guys see the graphic of it, which is not finished yet, but it will be by the weekend, it has a waveform on the challenge coin that people are like, what is the squiggly? And you want to tell them?
It's Edward saying, welcome to Heavy Cardboard.
Which, that seems appropriate,
We
right?
thought
If it's
that
a
was-
challenge coin, it should welcome you to Heavy Cardboard,
Yeah.
right? That's
I think
kind of
it's pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's so yeah. Anyway, that's the $5 level. Pretty massive
overhaul, and hopefully that excites people.
Yes.
Whether you're a current patron, maybe at $2 level, maybe that, hey, wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, good deal. So there's that. All right, that's the $5 level. Then the $10 level. So I'll take this one, I guess.
Right.
All right, so the $10 level, everything below, so everything that the $5 level and $2 level got. But on top of that, we're going to have a heavy cardboard patch or pin, little, it's called,
it's cloisonné hard enamel pins. It's it's our logo about an inch just to put on your lapel.
Yeah, either on your lapel, if you're wearing a suit, you could put it on a backpack, exactly, something like that, or a patch like for your game bag or whatever. It's about a 3-4 inch patch with Davis and a heavy cardboard logo,
and it'll be cut out around Davis.
Yep, so that'll be complimentary. Everybody, now these are all retroactive, meaning for y'all that are already patrons, you guys are going to start getting this stuff in the mail. Give us a little time to mail all this out.
Yes.
Okay, after Essen and everything, but it's coming. On top of that, you're going to get a free challenge coin after 3 months of support. If this just in, if you've already been a $10 patron for $3, you get that. For
3 months, he means.
Yeah, you'll get that. Just, again, give us time to ship it all out to everybody. Unlimited access to my teaching notes and player aids that we use during our playthroughs as available. So recently, and I'm going to say in the last couple months, I have started spending an hour or two before each live stream, usually about 2 hours, basically writing up an outline or a teaching script that I use for the live streams, especially for the more involved games. Now, this isn't every game that we have ever live streamed, so let me preface that. But right now, there's about 8 or 10 of them that I've done.
And that'll obviously just continue to grow.
Right, and that's going to be the case going forward. Now, like Cave versus Cave today, I didn't do one because it's just not that big. But stuff like the Ruhr, et cetera, even Rococo, things like that. So I'm going to make those available to folks. This way, here, you print it out, and this is how I teach the game. If you don't want to watch the live stream or whatever, or you want to teach your group or whatever, you'll have access to those. So thought that was, people were asking for it. And to be honest with you, in the survey, that was one of the big asks that people would like to see. So there's that. And then there's the opportunity every 6 months for me to teach you a game in your group. Now, there are a bunch of caveats that you guys can read, and you guys will see it on the Patreon page. I'm not going to read them all. There's some caveats in there. Basically, 45-minute to an hour-long teach, I'm willing. Now, I'll be honest. Up to this point, no one has been interested in that, which helps because then I'm able to just focus on the show. But I don't have a problem doing these. If I did, I wouldn't have offered that. But I'm going to leave the onus up to you guys to ask me, hey, will you teach our group X, whatever X is, and 1 per patron per 6 months. So you can do that up to twice a year. Yeah, so that's that. Okay. So after 6 months, you qualify for that, and that's that.
And then every 6 months thereafter.
Right. Thereabouts. Now, there's going to be a little bit of fudge factor. If 10 people want it in a month, we're going to have to space that out. I'm probably only willing to do about 2 of these a month. So it may take some time. So there's that. Okay. Andrew asks, will you be converting those teaches to YouTube videos? Haven't I already done that in the live streams? Question mark?
No, what he's asking is if you teach someone a game. I think it would probably be whether they wanted you to.
We're still playing around with that. As far as like these private teachings, you're saying like if they want me to teach Pax Porphyrion or whatever, I would like to make those available to patrons at the same level. So basically make a catalog of these teaching videos that are just, now they're going to be a lot more informal than they were. But yeah, I don't see a reason why not to make these available to patrons at this level and higher. I think that's reasonable. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, cool. All right. So that's a $10 level. So hopefully that entices maybe some $5 patrons.
Maybe
10s. We'll see. And if not, that's fine. Understand, everything that we are going over today is really not aimed at y'all. it's aimed to keep y'all supporting the show, obviously. But it's part of the patron drive to bring in new people and keep them as well. So we're not doing this to try and entice really you guys to bump up in level. We're just trying to convey the information to you guys and get you guys excited about this for what it is we're going to ask for help for at the end of all this. Okay. So then the next level, the $12 level, is going away.
Correct.
The $12 patrons are already aware of this. Then, and the $20 level is going away as well. They're aware of this as well. So that brings us to the Sumatran elephant, which is the $25 level.
So you get obviously all the previous level benefits, as well as one patron-only exclusive T-shirt sent to you each year, and provided you maintain that reward level or higher. And after you get your first one after 3 months of support, and this year's inaugural design will come from Ian O'Toole.
Right. So once he designs it and once we get it made, then you'll
get one after you've been a patron at the $25 or up level for 3 months.
Yep.
Then we'll do a Patreon call out. We'll give you a special thanks and call out to a different patron at this level or higher, doing a playthrough. I need it. Can I?
I'm sorry. You can't read that. Sorry. All right. How about that? Yeah, sorry about that.
To a different patron at this level or higher doing a playthrough. I mean, because, your support of Heavy Cardboard is truly appreciated, and this way we can actually say thank you.
Not to say that the ones below this are not. Okay.
Yes.
And with a catch, or not catch, but a caveat, there are some people that genuinely have told us that they do not want to be mentioned. When these take effect, we're going to reach out to every single patron individually whenever it comes to stuff like this. And we'll ask you, do you want us to do this? If you say no, then we will respect that, obviously.
Yeah, not a problem. You get a custom postcard direct from us every month. It's just a little piece of us to you. It can be anything from a picture of a game that we played and enjoyed, or picture of us, or picture of Asher, picture of whatever.
At Essen, from Essen, or something like that.
Anything. 2 private individual Google Hangout or Skype sessions each year, roughly, one every 6 months with Edward and or me, and as available, other regulars of Heavy Cardboard.
Yeah, so these are one-on-one.
Yep.
You can talk about whatever you want. You can ask us questions privately, whatever. So
or one-on-two,
one-on-two,
one-on-four.
right? Yeah, it'd be like, if you're Bev and could you bring in Ash?
Then like Amanda and Edward, you can just go.
Right, and just you and Ash, whatever. That's fine.
That's
no
fine
worries.
too.
Okay, so that's $25 level, the Sumatran elephant. And then at the $50 African forest elephant, obviously everything below. Heavy Cardboard polo shirts. They're going to be the performance, fancy ones. It's going to have the Heavy Cardboard logo on the breast, like you would on a polo shirt, right? So they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a complimentary polo. You're going to get 2 of our pint glasses or 2 coffee mugs, which all these things that you guys are hearing about, the patron-only T-shirt, the challenge coin, the pin, the polo shirt, the mugs, the pint glass, all this stuff's going into the store. Okay, and is going to be available to be purchased.
Yeah, you just will get this stuff for being at that reward level.
Right. All right. So you're going to get a challenge coin in addition, and then we'll record a voicemail if you want, instead of the robo, you've called.
You have reached.
Right, yeah, that thing. 2 additional more Hangouts if you want to use them with me, you,
whoever,
whatever. And this next thing, I don't know if there's going to be any interest in this.
It's very interesting. But
I'm really excited at the prospect of doing this. I think this is part of research that I really thoroughly enjoy. And what this is I'm willing to curate somebody's collection, all our patrons, because this is going to take me a few hours to do. So once a year, I'm going to go over anybody at this level and higher, their game collection on BGG, or a list that you give me if you don't have it on BGG. And then we're going to sit down for like a 20-30 minute Skype session and talk about the things you do and don't like in board games. And then I'm going to go through your collection and give you a customized list of these are the games that I think would be perfect
that's
for you.
That's a really cool thing.
I don't know. It feels a little egotistical. Like, who are you to do something like this? But I'm excited about giving it a try. And there's enough interest with the folks that helped us create these that I was like, I think this is fun and exciting. So we'll give it a try. We'll see. So yeah, so that's the African forest elephant, the $50 level. And now the last two, we have no idea if anyone's actually going to use anything above the $25 level, in all honesty. We never have it. We have expectation of the $5 patrons. Everybody being that's what we kind of expect, but anything above and beyond, awesome. So we're trying to make these next few things kind of special, and maybe they'll go well and maybe they won't. So the Mastodon, the $75 level.
You get everything previously, and you also will get an invitation and a ticket to HeavyCon 2018, and for every other year that you maintain this reward level. So you'll get it first. The first one you'll get after 6 months of support.
Yep. And that's that. So you want to come to HeavyCon, you want to jump the wait list, here's the way to do it.
Yep.
All right. So there's that. So
become a Mastodon.
Right. Like, isn't that a metal band, like a black metal band?
I don't know. We could ask Paul. Chad.
Yeah,
know.
Chad would know it.
But
hold on. As many Scanderhoovians as we have.
That's true. Hey, York.
Yeah.
But this level is limited to 6 people.
Yes. And last but not least, I really don't know if anybody is going to be interested, but we were asked to put this up here, so we did.
Woolly mammoth.
So $125 a month, which is a lot.
Yes.
No arguments. But we're going to try something crazy, a curated game subscription. So you have to keep your BGG list accurate and up to date. And what this means is once a quarter, provided you are this level for the entire year. So once a quarter, once every 3 months, I'm going to pick up, purchase, and acquire, let's say, a game that I think would be, so think of that curated game list, but you know, it could be something super obscure and rare, maybe out of print. It could be something that I just think fits perfectly for you. I don't know. And we'll see. I mean, it's kind of rolling the dice and trusting me to come up with a good match. I mean, maybe it's a surprise copy of Antiquity or Bus or
who knows what,
18 something.
Right.
It could be something crazy. But yeah, it's basically,
or it could be just a game that just came out that he thinks you'll really like. I mean, it's not, we're not necessarily saying it's going to be
out of print only. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically go with trust in me. And if you guys have listened to the SM Preview show, some of the really esoteric and obscure stuff, like the games that I mentioned, there are 7 games that I mentioned at the end that I'm like, these are just, whoa. So definitely piqued interest on my end. So maybe they would be a match for you, that type thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's it. Those are all the levels. Okay. So here, for those that are watching on the video here, we're going to show you the graphic that's going to be used here on our landing page, and that basically shows you graphically everything that we just showed you individually for each level and how the different levels compare to one another. So giving folks a minute to kind of look that over. We can always cut this part out for the
podcast.
Yeah. So we are kind of keeping an eye on the chat, even though we don't have the chat up, so we can kind of monitor it. So any questions from you guys in chat on this? Any thoughts? I mean, give us feedback, because this is the first time that we have unveiled any of this outside of our little group of like 6 people.
That our little circle that this has been outside of that.
So did we nail it? Are we way off base? Give us some feedback on that if you would, and we'll go ahead and move on. And hold on real quick. Something that Lori just said, and I this is important to me, guys. So Lori says, I wish I could increase my level. I might be able to do so. I'll have to think about it. This is more important to me as a person than anything else that you guys do. And what that is I want you guys to know we're not, I mean, obviously, yes, we're trying to make money. I mean, we're trying to support me being able to do this full time. I get that. But the last thing that any of us want is for somebody to overextend themselves because of X, Y, or Z. Don't do that. We do not want you to do that. No. So please do not. And yeah, I just can't stress that enough. I mean, you guys are already patrons. You guys are already supporting us. So this is more or less kind of a preview look for what we're about to unveil to the world. Obviously, I mean, if you guys want to, please, by all means, but at the same time, don't overdo it. We're hoping this is successful, that we bring in enough new folks to where everything's great and no harm, it works out.
Right.
But yeah, just please do not overextend yourselves. And just wherever you're comfortable is where we're comfortable. That makes sense. Like, I don't think of a $2 patron as less of a person or less of a anything than somebody that's at the $50 level.
I mean, we have people that give $1 and they don't get anything.
Yeah. And thank you.
Yes.
You don't have to support us. So anything that you give is awesome. Seriously. So please do not feel obligated to do all of that. A couple other things real quick on this. During this, we're also going to have giveaways for patrons only, including existing. So there is not going to be a giveaway. Let me rephrase this. There may be a single giveaway out of the many that we're going to have during these 3 weeks, in which it's existing patrons are not going to be included. There might be one, hey, if you're a new patron, here's a game, whatever. Or a drawing for a game. Everything. It's important to me because I hate being cable companies.
I was
right?
just about to give you that option if you couldn't come up with
cable
one.
Companies, right? Oh, if you're a new customer, you get. And I'm like, what about those of us that have been paying for internet?
Why do we not matter?
Why are we SOL? So I feel strong. We feel strongly about that. So that's not going to happen. So there's going to be plenty of giveaways. In addition to that, I do ask that the next two things, in fact, all of this, stay quiet until Saturday about all this, please. Especially the next two things.
Yeah.
Carmen over at Game Surplus is going to be able to offer a discount for a large assortment of games. Cannot give a discount across all games just because of like minimum advertised price stuff rules. Doesn't want to get in trouble. Totally get that. So he's going to make that available for patrons. We're working out the details, but that's coming. And then this next one is a really kind of big deal to us. And we have been working on this for the better part of 6 months.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So please keep this under wraps. Keep this. We're trusting everybody in here, in-house, our patrons only. We're going to have a table to give away from boardgametables.com. We're going to have a Duchess to be able to give away. It's not going to be available until January. You won't actually, whoever wins it. We don't know if this is going to be a patron only thing or a listener wide thing. But this is going to be kind of a big deal for us. And that's a really big offer that Chad has offered.
And by the chat room, it seems like that's a good idea.
Yeah. So please keep this quiet. Okay. For right now, let us announce it, please. We're trusting you guys to keep this under wraps, so please do. So that doesn't suck, right?
Not
That's
at all.
Kind of cool. So yeah, so there's that. And Marlon, good timing. All right, so that's the patron levels. Now, there are also all the milestones. The milestones are the
levels that we
levels
want.
are stretch goals, kind of the equivalent, right? Type thing. So we have, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk about what the goal is.
Yeah.
Right? So the goal here is $4,155 a month. That's the goal. We're at $2,370 right now. Now, do I think that's reasonable? Do I expect us to get to that point in 3 weeks? No. Do I hope so? Yes. Amanda thinks we can.
Yes.
I'm a little bit more apprehensive about that. The reason $4,155 is that officially that makes it to where I'm full-time. And we are now officially at that moment stress-free.
Yes.
Because then we can actually start paying off the credit card bills and that also offsets insurance that we're going to have to get, 401k, my retirement stuff, higher taxes because I'll be self-employed, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what that is. That is the ultimate goal for this. However, we are going to set a milestone of 3,200, and that is the bare minimum goal. Okay. Between you, me, and us, that is what we would deem a success for the Patreon drive. So getting from 2,370, I think it is, to 3,200. The reason 3,200 is then I can do heavy cardboard 3/4 of the time, full time, and then get a small part-time gig on the side. So we decided last night that we're going to add a milestone at $3,200. And I'm really excited about this, actually.
Me too.
This was not something planned, and this came about last night, which is when we were recording the front end of the show with Jim the other night for the Essen preview show. Both he and I really enjoyed just talking about what we've been playing and then kind of philosophical stuff.
Waxing philosophic.
There you go. Good call. And he was like, what do you think about doing that monthly and calling it Late Night Cardboard? You can have it on your feed or his feed, whatever. We'll figure that out. It'll be HBO-esque, meaning it's going to be a little bit more not safe for work. Nothing egregious, nothing over the top. It's just, we're not going to self-edit. We're just going to two dudes talking, right? So he's offered to be willing to do that once a month with me. And I think that, and so we would talk about games we played as well as any topics that come up, whether it's something we feel strongly about or not, one way or the other, as it were, in the hobby or outside of it. Just think of it as talk radio kind of, but like pirate, like Howard Stern-esque, but not, right?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
There's some comments in the chat room right now that y'all can't see, but we're not talking Game of Thrones, HBO.
No, stop.
We're talking, just
being able to cuss here and there and not have to sweat it. And we'll tag it, not safe for work and everything, those. But anyway, so
it'll
that
probably honestly have to be on another feed.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Whatever. So anyway, 3,200. That's the bare minimum that we need to do it 3/4 of the time, full time. But the 4,155. There's going to be a bunch more milestones that are coming. The first one is at 2,500, which is we're going to do a second heavy cardboard around the world. We're going to pick a name and we're going to go there somewhere in the next year.
Yep.
At the end. So that'll be twice a year then.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So that's pretty much most of that, right? Now comes y'all's turn.
Yes. I mean, y'all already do a ton for the show by just being patrons, and we greatly appreciate that. But we absolutely need your help with this patron drive. We cannot do it ourselves, and any of this kind of thing comes across differently, vastly differently, when it comes from other mouths rather than us. If it comes from our supporters, if it comes from our patrons, if it comes from our friends, which I consider all of you guys friends, for sure. If it comes from that, it comes from a different place than if it comes from me and Edward.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same idea that Reddit ascribes to, like the self-promotion. Like, y'all can post it, we can't often, and it just has a different level of impact. And so you guys give a lot of yourselves already financially for helping out the show. However, this is the one time that we are really going to lean on you guys to help us out and do more than just give us the money that you guys are through Patreon.
For these 3 weeks during the patron drive specifically, we need you all to be super active in spreading the word about heavy cardboard, just in general, but also about the drive specifically. I mean, if you want to up your pledge level, it's awesome, but it's not expected and it's not mandatory or anything like that.
Nope. So here's something that I was trying to allude to earlier that I was getting ahead of myself with, and that is there are two ways now, or there will be during this patron drive and subsequently, to support the show. So there are some people out there that really are not a fan of the monthly subscription idea, which is what Patreon is, right? Like on the first of the month, you guys get charged. We get charged for the the patrons that, or whose we are patrons of, like $1 here, $2 there, whatever.
Oh, I thought we were about to sneeze. Okay.
Oh no. So, however, what we have added is in the store. It's not live yet. It will be in the store. You're going to be able to be a patron as a one-time payment. So if you want to be a $5 patron, if you want to be a patron at the $5 level, you pay $60 for 12 months of patronage.
And bam, you're $5 patron.
You get all the perks of the $5 pledge. Now, how it has been is only through PayPal. However, now we have the ability to go through Stripe, so credit cards and all that.
Apple Pay.
Yeah, all of that works, okay? So we're going to have different things in the store, like a $5 patron, right? Annual patronage. So if you go back to the graphic that we had earlier,
at the bottom,
at the very bottom of that, you can see, now obviously 12 months at $125, that's $1,500 in one pop. Do I expect that? No. However, cool. It's there for those that want to use it. If you would prefer to do a one-time payment, and this, yes, we're making this obviously option available to all of y'all, but at the same time, this is for the 180 people in our survey that said, I would support the show, but I don't like the Patreon monthly payment thing. So this is that option as well. So those people don't have excuses now.
No.
Now, do I expect all 180 to actually do that?
Absolutely
of course
not.
Do I hope 100 of them do? Yes, obviously. I hope 180 of them. So yeah, so the store, so buying stuff in the store is going to help us because obviously we're making some money off of the things, whether it's the pins, the shirts.
It may be 50 cents, but we're making,
some of it is not really high margins. And we're doing that because otherwise some of this would be outrageously expensive.
Yes,
so
and we don't want to do that.
The t-shirts, we make $5 a piece on, just to give you an idea. That's also hoodies are coming to the store. Hats are coming to the store.
And we've gotten samples from our merchandiser, I guess is what they would be. And so that we can make sure we get like a really soft, nice hoodie, a really nice hat.
In fact, I'm actually wearing the hoodie. Yeah. This is it. Now, this is going to be embroidered. It's just going to have Davis right here. And then it's going to have a big, like 10 or 12 inch, like the other hoodies on the back, the full
and it'll
heavy
be
cardboard
embroidered.
Logo. Yeah, it's all embroidered.
And we sampled like 2 or 3 different kinds of polo shirts because the first one that they sent we didn't like, and so we're hand picking these things for you guys.
Yep. Somebody said Asher shirts. Yeah.
Yes, Giovanni, we will make you an Asher shirt.
Also, here's the cool thing, guys. Everything that we are making available in the store. Good news, bad news. Bad news first, you're probably not going to get it until late November. Okay? The reason is the good news. And that is we are not limited in sizes and colors for any of these things. So what I mean by that is if we get 6 green hoodies and 1 gray hoodie and 15 black hoodies.
We get that doesn't matter.
That's fine. That's okay because we can make one bulk purchase and it's okay broken down by that. So by waiting to order all of these until after the patron drive's over, we can do one bulk purchase and say, okay, we need 3 of these, 4 of those. And, we could get 1 extra small, 1 XXX, whatever. So you guys are not limited by color or size in any of that.
Not at all.
The only thing you guys will just have to be patient on us turnaround time's probably 2 weeks. So you figure we're not going to get anything ordered until we get back from Essen. So say the end of October. So you should have it by Thanksgiving or the end of November.
Beginning of December. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's hats.
That, yeah.
And some other stuff that I can't think of off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, so we got hats, polo shirts,
T-shirts,
hoodies, T-shirts,
the Patron-only T-shirts.
The neck wallet.
What?
A neck wallet.
Oh, the neck wallet, dude! I'm super stoked for this. So we got these badge holders.
Nice badge holders.
They're badge holders at WBC, and it says World Board Game, and you can hold business cards in it.
It opens up, and you can put your phone in it.
Right. And it's just, really, really nice. So we're going to have those, and it's going to say, what was it? Member of the herd or heavy cardboard herd or something like that on it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so nice.
We're going to have lanyards for those that don't want the badge holder. We're going to have lanyards in the coffee mugs, the pint glasses.
Everybody's asking about poker chips.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to put those in the store yet, but if you guys email me and I get enough interest, then I will make that happen. How's that? Because the shipping on those is going to be pretty outrageous.
Yes.
Those are not cheap. So
and those priority mailboxes only go up to 70 pounds.
So anyway, if you're interested, shoot us an email and we'll go from there. Okay. All right, so let's get back to what we need from y'all.
So spread the words to your friends, your game group, BGG, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, because we get a lot of people that will tag us on Instagram whenever they've played a game that they think we'll enjoy or that we've talked about or whatever, and that's always fun to see. So continue doing that. I mean,
however,
yes.
We need you guys to make a real concerted effort, and not just September 30th when it starts, but throughout the entire 3 weeks to help us bring eyes to the Patron Drive and why. And we are big time leaning on you guys on this. I don't know any other way than to ask you, please help us with this. You guys, I realize you guys are already doing a lot by giving us the financial support, but think of it this way. If this is successful, and as successful as Amanda thinks this can be, we don't have to do this again because Patreon is a perpetual thing. Now, granted, we're always going to lose some. We're always going to gain some. So once we get to a certain threshold, in theory, it should just continue to climb to where eventually maybe Amanda can come on full time as well. But once we get to that level, we don't have to keep asking people. We don't have to keep doing these drives. We don't have to do an annual thing like this because it's there. Yeah. It's just a recurring thing that happens. And that's awesome. So we don't have to do an annual Kickstarter or an annual Indiegogo or anything. And I'm not disparaging anybody that does those things. It's just this is the model we've chosen. And if we can get to that point, in theory, it should be self-sustaining. And that's also the reason that we're stressing that we don't want anyone to overextend themselves. Because $5 a month, that's $60 a year. That's one game. Basically, you are foregoing one game to support the show.
And you're paying it out.
Yeah, over the course of, so that's basically what, like one venti coffee at Starbucks, maybe?
Seriously,
not even?
I don't even think it's that.
Right? So that's what we're asking for. And that, in theory, is maintainable, I'm not going to say in perpetuity, but for the foreseeable future. And if there's a whole bunch of folks doing that, if we can get that up to 1,000 patrons, $5 a piece, that's $5,000 a month. We're golden.
We're getting closer to me doing this full time too.
Exactly. So yeah, we really we're leaning heavily on you guys to really help us out, please.
Yeah. Just and like
spreading the word and keeping spreading the word.
Don't just not just doing it once and then stopping, but I mean you don't have to do it, every hour on the hour or anything like that. No. Just
3-4 times throughout the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Dave asked if there was a specific place that worked better. Not really. Just spreading the word anywhere. All
right. So there's one other thing that you guys can do to help that hopefully is fun for you guys as well.
Yeah. So, you can either write a short little blurb about why you support Heavy Cardboard or what Heavy Cardboard means to you, or you can send us a video with you explaining all of that, or you
and I be damn Skippy, sure, we will use that in a live stream
absolutely
at some point.
Yep.
So heads up, but we want you guys to be a part of this. This isn't just us.
No, this is all of us together. And you can also call us and leave us a voicemail with what Heavy Cardboard means to you and why you want, why you support and why you would want others to support.
Or however you want to word it.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And that phone number is 720-675-8975.
720-675-8975. And we'll put that down below so you guys, that's our Google Voice voicemail.
It goes straight to voicemail. That you're not going to risk like waking us up.
Yeah,
or anything.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, just
it doesn't
call
ring anywhere.
Yep. So if you want to help us out in that respect, that would be awesome too. Last but not least, and then we will go on to the actual Ask the Elephant. And I'll tell you what, because I'm not able to keep up with the chat right now, if you guys are asking questions, re-ask them once we start the Ask the Elephant. All right. So the last thing is we're going to try something that I'm really nervous about. Who am I kidding? You have no idea how nervous I am about this whole thing. But October 14th is a Saturday. And we don't know what we're going to call this yet, whether it's Elephant Play Day, Heavy Cardboard Herd Game Day around the world, something like that. The idea is that. So here's what we had in mind. October 14th, I'm going to be sitting right here all day outside of bathroom breaks and to get food all day. We're going to play games. We're going to stream games most of the day. But in addition to that, we want you guys to Skype with us live, stream from your game day around the world, wherever you are. Tell us what games you're playing, who all's with your group, what y'all are doing on the Heavy Cardboard game day. And we don't know if we're going to Skype to you or you just call in and Skype to us.
We're not quite sure yet.
We'll figure out the logistics on this. But if that's something that you guys would be interested in doing, that sounds like fun to us. And that's another way to include you guys in all of this. So if that sounds good, then reach out to us. Let us know, right? Email us.
Yeah.
Let us know that, hey, like Heavy Cardboard Game Day Skype, I'm in, whatever. Right. And we can figure out, okay, what time of day is it where you're at, where we are, and where to fit you in and all this stuff. So we'll figure that out. That's in 3 weeks, obviously, 2.5 weeks, whatever. But yeah, that's it. That's our pitch to you guys. Here's the revamped Patreon. This is why we're doing the patron drive and the new levels, the new milestones. And please, will you help us spread the word everywhere, not just about the patron drive, but just Heavy Cardboard and why you support us and why it's worth supporting. So thank you, all of y'all that are either watching or listening. I realize this probably went a little long. I'm sorry. This is what happens when we don't have an outline that we don't follow. It means a lot that you guys already support us, and I want to see how far this thing can go. So thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. So when are all the levels and everything on Patreon are going to be changed on Saturday, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Technically, it's all going to probably take place on Thursday, which I forgot to give you guys the landing page. So when you guys are spreading the word, the website is pledgehc.com. All right. So pledgehc.com.
Right.
If you go to the site right now, you'll see Davis, and that's it.
He's just chilling.
It's not live yet. It's technically, we're going to have a soft launch on Thursday, but that's not going to be announced to anybody but y'all. And then we go live basically when we go live with Forbidden Stars on Saturday.
Yep.
And that's that. Yeah, so that really is it. So pledgehc.com. You're going to see our welcome video. Think of it like a Kickstarter video, as well as 2 buttons: to the Patreon, to the store, your choice. And by you, I mean the visitor.
The royal y'all.
Right. And then some highlights, and then the chart that I showed everybody. And then there you go. As well as some quotes that'll be cycling through that people have already written in and given us.
Like some of the things that if you guys do email us, we will have that just on a scroll.
Yep. Cool. All right. That's it. That's all we got.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for indulging us.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
And
so
your support allows us to give Asher cuddles, which is always good.
Daily cuddles,
especially from Edward, because after I leave the house to go to work, Edward stays here to work, so he can give Asher cuddles all day.
And scritches.
Yep, and oatmeal.
There can be more pictures of Asher. Okay, that's pure guilt trip right there. I'll admit that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's sacked out behind me.
Yep. All right, so that's it for the patron drive. So terribly nervous and excited. More nervous than excited. I will be more excited once it's actually started and everything's done.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there's that fear of failure again. Anyway, moving on. So Q&A time. Let's look at chat, shall we? All right. So heavy cardboard versus chat game. Casey, that's going to happen. I don't know when. It will be during the patron drive, and possibly could become a monthly thing. So we can figure that out. I'll tell you what, if you have a good idea on how to implement that, Casey, email us. You take the dot on that and run with it. And we come up with a good way to logistically make it happen. We'll make it happen. Cool. Tony, no worries. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Pauline Cow, let's see. When will the pledge levels be available in the store? For just to be safe, let's say Saturday. Everything goes live on Saturday. There may be a soft launch on Thursday with everything. Colin is still enjoying it.
Haven't played it in a while.
We haven't. Just, how that happens, but I would enjoy getting it back to,
I would.
There's a reason I brought it up here, right? To the, to be behind for the Cave versus Cave live stream.
What games are you tentatively planning on playing during the drive?
The majority of the top 10 most requested games, stuff like Arkwright, obviously Forbidden Stars, Container. If Brad was in chat, he's been doing a really good job of keeping us updated on what the most requested games are on the request geek list. So if you guys go to the geek list, which I'm sure one of the mods will go ahead and link to in the chat, thumbs are what matters, as well as whatever y'all vote on. We're going to give options and then we'll do a vote, but that's going to be coming during the patron drive. You guys will hear the updates on through Patreon. Because I realized, and this is boo on me, this is 100% my fault, I've gotten a little lackadaisical with updating things on Patreon because I'm so used to the Slack channel.
Yeah.
And so I'll announce things in the Slack channel, and then I was like, wait a minute, we only have like some of the patrons are on the Slack channel, and I'm like, boo on me. So that's why yesterday I did the post for the Cave versus Cave stuff. So I'm going to start updating that. What I need from you guys, if I'm giving too much information, if I'm making too many updates,
tell him to shut up,
and it's pissing y'all off, tell me. I need to know this, okay? But I also don't want to neglect people that are not either voluntarily or any other reason are not in the Slack channel. So please do that, okay?
Yes. Who do you think the right people to target during the Patreon drive are? Listeners that aren't patrons? People not aware of the show? Yes?
Yeah, seriously, both of them. Here's the way I see it. We have 9,400 podcast subscribers, right? If everybody gave $1, we're both full-time.
Yep.
Now, that's not realistic. I know that'll never happen. Right now, somebody can do the math. I want to say it's about just under 3% or right around 3% that are patrons. capturing more of them would be awesome. Now, obviously, there's a ton of crossover between our YouTube and podcast subscribers. So 4,200, I imagine there are a bunch that are not podcast subscribers, and vice versa, whatever. Capturing those that are already here would be awesome. Now, there are some people that just have no interest in giving money to something that they get for free. That's why we tried to offer the other things and entice people, more loot and less content-based, but the loot is easy for us to do once we have created it. Then it's just a matter of ordering a bunch and shipping it out. We'll deal with that. So, but at the same time, if you guys heard the interview with Aldi, how many hundreds of thousands of new board gamers come to BGG all the time? Those are potential listeners and viewers of our content. So to answer your question, yes, both. I would like both.
Yeah. Let's see.
Are we?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Ian says, how will these changes / new store additions for hoodies affect those who P10'd it already? No, you're going to get one. I mean, we'll get the...
Well, they gave $10 deposit, right? So what we'll end up doing probably is we'll reach out to all of you individually.
An invoice for the rest.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of you guys purchasing through the store, we'll just manually do it.
Because I have everybody written down, so that won't be hard.
And on that note, if you go to the store and you choose to be a patron through the store, i.e. one lump sum, whatever, we will actually have a spreadsheet with all of those to where whenever we do something that includes the $10 patrons or whatever, and you gave $120, then you will be included. Now, you won't get the Patreon updates, but I will send you an email or an email blast to all those that fall into that criteria to include them for X, Y, or Z, whatever it is. Okay.
Any guest stars or other popular creators which are going to mention us, like Shut Up and Sit Down or such?
I've reached out to a number of them.
A bunch of people.
Rado said he's going to record a video for us. John Gets Games. I've reached out to Quinn's personally to his personal email. I haven't heard back. Tom Vassal, which obviously I realize there's not a ton of crossover. I get that, but he's the biggest. He doesn't promote anybody's fundraiser, but he did reach out to us and touch base after I pinged him. And the plan is to sit down with Rado after Essen for a long form interview, which obviously that's going to help bring people in because Rado's a lot bigger than we are. And so he'll promote it and everything and do all that. So maybe that brings more eyes, which even if they're and that's the other cool thing about this being a Patreon. Yes, the patron drive has to be successful to a certain point. Yes, but it doesn't end. Like, people can still come in like in November and December.
Right.
So,
it's not like it suddenly stops for some reason.
There's no hard deadline on this. It's perpetual. So that's a positive.
How often are the Wednesday 2-player games going to happen? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? It's going to kind of depend on when the conversations happen.
Right. So the conversations with Heavy Cardboard have been a Wednesday thing. I like Amanda being here and her being able to kind of have a little downtime, but also monitoring it.
Yep.
And she sends me on Slack all the questions that get asked in the chat, of which I ask some at the end. I want to be able to do a conversations every other week. So the Wednesday 2-player grudge matches between me and Amanda probably alternate with that. Here's the thing. Like, I can't give you a definitive answer on any of this stuff because we don't know if I'm going to have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Understand, this isn't a guilt trip. That this is just fact. I mean, I don't want to promise something that, oh, wow, the patron drive bombed. And okay, we're back to evenings because I have to go to work during the day that isn't Heavy Cardboard work. So I don't want to promise something, but let's assume, let's say it is as successful as we need it to be. It's 41.55. awesome.
And that's not like exact, guys. Like
it really kind of
well,
is.
Lori was saying, please have some buffer. I mean, we're not saying that the lights will be turned off if we make $4 less or something.
No,
but that's where we would feel comfortable.
Right. Keep in mind now, since you asked, you brought up a buffer. So at $4,155, that replaces my salary from last year, in addition to the higher taxes that we will have to pay, paying for no match on my retirement, giving me a retirement as well, and insurance. Did I say that already? Mm-hmm. Okay. So those three things, that eats up all that $4,155 essentially. So then we have to make up the money for the show, for travel, and for everything else, right? For going to conventions, to upgrading everything, because God knows there is so much we want to do in the studio. Mm-hmm. I want to do with the studio and make it nicer. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but it could be better. So where does that money come from? Well, that's where our sponsors come in. That's where our sponsored playthroughs come in, those type things. And the money in the store comes in. So the $4,155 makes it to where, okay, we're good. All the other things, our sponsors, the sponsored playthroughs, the store, then pays for the show improvements and our travel and all of those things.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much,
Yep.
Pretty transparent, I think.
Can you mention the deal with Hollandspiele again?
I totally forgot about all this, so thank you. I'm glad that
York.
I'm glad that you asked this, York. So I'm going to send out a update on Patreon between now and the weekend. Okay, I don't know what day exactly, but here is what we're going to offer. We have 2 empty bags that we are going to bring, or boxes, depending on how this works out. So for luggage, 2 people, 2 each. One is going to be filled with 144 t-shirts that we're going to be bringing to Essen. Heavy cardboard t-shirts, 4 different colors, all different sizes. Another one is going to be filled with our clothes and stuff to get us through the 8 days or whatever we're going to be gone. The other 2 bags are empty. So we are offering to patrons only, to Mule Games from here in the States, to Essen, okay? But here's the catch. 1, we don't know how much interest there's going to be in this. So if there is 400 games that people are asking for, it's 2 bags, guys, right? And it's 50 pounds, right? 23 kilos, so 48 pounds maybe. So what we need from you guys is to email us, contact@heavycardboard.com, with the subject line Essen Mule, okay? And tell us what games. I would ask that you limit it. Be thoughtful of your other patrons. And then we'll probably cut that off here in about a week because they have to be able to be mailed and everything else. For Hollandspiele specifically, they have offered, and I'm going to have to double check, but I think it's 10% off.
Do you want me to look on my phone?
Yeah, why don't you real quick? Amanda will stall. So, because Hollandspiele obviously does not have there's no way to get the games overseas. That's going to be, I figure it's going to be all Hollandspiele and probably some 18XX games that we're going to be muling. The catch with the 18XX games, they're really, really heavy. So again, be considerate. 1 or 2 games maybe per person, depending on how many. Also, Tom did email us, Tom Russell from Hollandspiele. He may have some copies of 4X available for us, but there's not going to be a discount available for those. That's going to be MSRP. And here's the other thing that we're going to ask. Depending on how many people are interested in doing this, we're having to pay baggage fees, $100 per bag. So if we get enough people, we're going to try and break that down to where it's like $5 a game to mule it over. And that's not profit. That's just for us to pay for our baggage fee going there. Because otherwise, we would just nestle bags inside of bags to where we would only have 2 going there and 4 coming back. That makes sense?
Okay. It is we can offer you a discount on the games of $5 off each game that costs $35 or less, and $10 off each game that costs more than $35.
Okay.
So that's it. And
the exception being 4X. 4X has got to be MSRP.
And it's free shipping to us.
Okay. And so we're going to ask for probably, assuming that's 40 games. And if they're mostly Hollenspiel, we should be able to fit 40 games between the two bags.
Yeah, pretty small.
I think so. So that would be $5 a game, we ask, just to help us pay for the shipping costs, and that's it. So if that's cool, then yeah. Also, somebody asked about the Lisboa promo. First off, it's coming. We have about 40 or so left here in the house. Eagle had to get them all reprinted because 2,700 of them burn up in the fire along with all the copies. Now, rumor is those will be available, or they're getting enough airship to where we're going to be able to get a few hundred. If we do, number one, we're going to be bringing them to Essen, so we have them to be able to, sell or give them away with the purchase of a t-shirt, just like what we did at Gen Con. After that, we're going to make the promos available, kind of a same gig, like buy a t-shirt or something, buy a polo, whatever, get the promo, that type thing, to the store. Patrons, we will make sure that they are at least available to you guys once we know how many we actually get. So give us some patience on that. Once we know, then you guys will know, I promise, okay, regarding the Lisboa promo.
Right.
Hold on, did we?
The next one.
Okay.
Someone said, what do we have to do to get a HeavyCon East?
Yeah. First off, I have to be full-time.
Yes.
Because, yeah. And I'll tell you what. Realistically, 2019, if I'm full-time, I would be willing to put on a convention further east. I don't know where yet, but so I'll make 2 commitments and 2 promises to you guys, okay? If I am full-time, then I will do that. And as I said, if we get to 1,000 patrons, I will get a Heavy Cardboard Davis tattoo or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know what we can entice people to get it, the Patreon high enough to be able to get Amanda full-time, but whoo, that would be a load of stress off of us. That'd be awesome. So Amanda doesn't have 2 full-time jobs. Woohoo!
Yeah. 3,
all right,
really.
So what else?
Need to scroll up, please.
Okay, sorry.
Do you ever play at any Denver local game stores or meetups, or do you mostly stick with the group that gets together at your place?
Have you seen our basement, James? Would you play anywhere else?
And the answer is no, you wouldn't. And then, so Andrew says,
no, hold on, no. We've been invited to the Reddit meetup that goes on Wednesdays. Actually, things have been a little crazy this summer, and I would like to actually after Essen. I think that would be cool to go, but we'll go. We went to BCon for a day. We go occasionally here and there. We're going to be going for Extra Life, or at least I am, for Extra Life, which is up at the Haunted Games Cafe.
You have to be like delirious with fever right now if you think I'm not going to go up there. Specifically, I mean, I can see Anno too.
Oh, for Young's.
But not to go to Young's? Are you crazy?
Right. Good Vietnamese food. So we don't play outside of our house or outside of the rest of the group's house much. But it's not because we're opposed to it. It's just we have gaming mecca here in the basement. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Plus the studio here, we're live streaming. Well, when I'm not sick, we're live streaming pretty often.
Speaking of live streaming, Andrew says, any plans for more live streams, even lighter/shorter games if they have to not be 4 to 6 hours long?
Well, I mean, we did just do Cave versus Cave. That was 40 minutes or so today, right?
I think people are... The problem is that you've been sick for a month, and so that's kind of made us not be doing very many live streams. And once, he's well now, so it'll pick back up.
Yeah. So all that's coming. Yes. There's going to be... I mean, obviously, Through the Ages was a long one. Forbidden Stars Saturday is going to be a massive one. I mean, we're going to be doing the like Age of Steam maps are coming back, so that's going to be a couple hours. Do one on Sunday. We'll probably do at some point like a modern art. We may do like Pie Mouth Flauman. I mean, we've done High Treason.
The Mini Rails was a short one.
Right. Oh, Tulip Bubble is coming. That's one of our sponsored playthroughs. It just so happens we actually ended up really liking the game.
Which was completely not,
Well, I knew I was going to like it.
But it wasn't influenced at all.
Right.
I mean, they could give me $1 million and I'd be like, but it's really good though. You don't understand. So let's see. Daniel asked, if we buy something from the shop, will you be able to bring it to Essen?
It depends. And the reason I say that is we're not going to order a fair bit of this stuff until after we get back from Essen, just because we need to be able to do a bulk order for all of this stuff through our merchandiser or whatever
supplier.
It is. Supplier. There you go. That's it. T-shirts are the one thing that I can guarantee that we will have plenty of at Essen.
And if you specifically want pint glasses, you can order those and we'll bring those. But I don't want to bring a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, because these things,
it's glass, people.
Right. Forgive my orange juice. But they're heavy and they're big. And you need to hand wash them so that the heavy cardboard logo doesn't fade like this one did. But yeah, those are pretty much the two things that we can guarantee that we will bring. Any other swag might not work. And then you're going to be on the hook for shipping, which unfortunately, I'm sorry. Next year, this time, we'll have all this stuff already. So the answer will be yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about Muling Games back from Essen to the States?
Okay. I'm glad somebody asked about that. Good question, Rob. So a lot of people are going to want us to mule games, and we would like to mule our own games home. So we couldn't figure out any other way to make this fair than to do an auction. So sometime next week, Rob is going to run an auction on BGG for us to be your personal shoppers at Essen. We're going to set some thresholds. So basically, the auction is not for games. The auction is for the service of us to run around Essen and pick up your games for you, bring them home, and then mail them to you.
And when he says us, that'll probably be me.
So we're going to be muling games back ourselves, and for... We don't know how many people. We don't know if we're going to limit it to 2 or maybe 3. And we're just going to let the market decide what that's worth to people and go from there. That's the most diplomatic way, because how do we... I mean, I guess we could draw straws and randomly. But honestly, we're sacrificing our luggage space to be able to do this. And we figure, well, we need the money right now to go along with the patron drive. That kind of makes sense. So I'm curious, do you guys like that idea? Is that cool or horrible, or that's kind of what we were thinking about? So, yeah.
Let's see. HeavyCon Europe. Just kidding. Let's do it. Okay, keep going.
Baby steps. Okay. Let's get a HeavyCon East first. And believe it or not, there were a number of Europeans that came to HeavyCon last year. Speaking of which, here, I'm going to sell this. Likely attendees this year, I think is a fair way to put it. Jeroen from Splatter. Nuno and Paulo, Madeira, Panamax, upcoming Brazil. They should be coming this year. Uli Blenneman from Spielworks is coming this year. Albin has promised to try really hard. It's a timing issue because he's teacher or professor. I'm not sure which that is in France.
And they have at deadline.
They have finals right then. So that's the problem there. Let's see. There are two 18XX designers that I'm drawing a total blank on who are probably going to come. Alex Berry, designer of High Treason, and a whole bunch of elephants. There you go. So that's HeavyCon. And us. And Asher.
Yeah.
And Asher. He's the mascot. He's there.
Can you make the HC intro music a ringtone? My kids love dancing to it. I don't know if our
license allows us to do that.
But the song is Disorganized Fun by Ronald Jenkins, and you can purchase it. So probably,
that's probably a better way to do it.
He probably has ringtones like on his website or something, or
he
on
might,
iTunes or something.
So Ronald Jenkins.
Jenkees.
Yep, on YouTube. And the song, our intro music is Disorganized Fun.
It's a portion of that song.
Yep. And dude, you're talking about Pavlovian? Because I enjoy the song. There's a reason I chose this music to begin with.
It came on game day one day, and everybody was like,
Heavy Cardboard episode, right? And just it's so Pavlovian.
A couple other people were like, "Wait, that's an actual song." It was really funny.
Yeah.
Jason thinks it should be a tramway style auction, and that the lost bids would go to the patron drive.
I like where your head's at. That's kind of fun. That's fun. I like that. But no, probably just your standard highest bidders win.
Somehow tickets are not as cheap from Amsterdam to Denver.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, okay. The plan was to leave on Monday. Wednesday is media day at Essen. And because of a flight delay, I missed it. And I was furious and will never miss it again because it allows us to get in and during setup day, which is a huge coup, which is what I did at Gen Con this year. So we were like, okay, we're going to fly out on Monday, arrive on Tuesday, and be ready to rock and roll. Cool. Well, you were able to manipulate your days off, and now we were like, oh, we can leave on Friday. Mm-hmm. Well, let's look. So we looked at Munich. We looked at, kind of cities train ride-ish around, because Dusseldorf is the airport that most people fly into. And Joris and Jeroen, as well as Rolf, had offered, all three are Dutch, obviously designers, Wildcatters, and Splatter. They offered, hey, you guys want to come and stay ahead of Essen? I was like, yeah, not happening this year because Amanda can't get the time off. Well, hold on. So on a lark, I just started looking, how much would a flight be from Denver to Amsterdam on a Friday? $475? That's it? Really?
But what's funny is the ticket is $75 and then the fees are $400.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So yay. So the whole reason we're doing this, in all honesty, is to pinch pennies and to be,
as strange as it sounds.
Yeah, so not complaining.
No.
This is one of those fortunate, oh, well, that worked out well.
Yeah, so serendipitous.
Yeah. There you go. Good call.
So we will be staying with Joris in a home that is older than America.
Which is just,
he made sure to tell us,
staggering, right? So he lives in Leiden, which is apparently a 45-minute train ride from Amsterdam, The Hague, and Rotterdam. So we're going to do something with the Dutch herd on Sunday, I think.
Yep.
Then Monday, we're going to be tourists. And then on Tuesday, we're either going to be taking a train from Amsterdam down to Essen, or I guess a couple trains, or Mira
is going to be taking us.
Yeah, might be herding us down there. And then we're going to a hockey game with Uli and Clay at Iseldor. If you guys listen to Iseldorn or something like that, if you listen to my interview with Uli, he had mentioned that he's a big fan of theirs, and so he was like, they're playing on Tuesday, we should go. And I was like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And it's working out to where we can. So yeah, it's going to be insane. Plus it'll be really nice to be acclimated to the time change.
It's going to be awesome. We're not going to be zombies. We'll be a zombie when we land and on Sunday, but by Monday we'll be golden.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Yes. A big truck full of Dutchies. Yep.
We're going through chat. Let's see. Tesla says moving to Indy. Well, that'll make Gen Con a lot cheaper. And that's the funny thing. And I mentioned this during the live stream here that everybody thinks Essen is like stupid expensive. Well, I guess it all depends on what airport you live near.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you live near a hub, then you're golden. But if not, then like I talked to Clay at Capstone, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw that." He said I had to pay $1,500 for mine, and I was like, "Yeah, we probably wouldn't be going to Essen if we could." And the whole reason,
well, he can't be flying economy or whatever.
Oh yeah, you can.
Really?
Very well possible. Sure.
Holy crap!
I mean, it's not Emirates Air, which just once I would like to try that.
Yeah.
I mean,
$10,000 flight.
Yeah, I want to know. If you're going to do that, I mean, at some point you just say, screw it, I just want a private plane.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's crazy.
One of my doctors took a plane ride to Hong Kong, and I saw the receipt, and it was $10,000. So he must have flown Air Emirates.
Wow. Or first class, or oh, nice.
All right. He doesn't fly, not first class.
It's good to be the doc.
Let's see. Lots of our houses are older than your Wee Nation. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Gotta see if Leiden has some bar or something we can meet up and maybe play some games.
We're going to defer to all y'all locals. The onus is on you. We're going to be in Leiden.
Yeah, they're already talking about where to go.
Come get us. Or tell us how to meet you, and we will go. Also, real quick, well, we got a couple of y'all here. Friday at Essen at 1900 on Friday, Fitzpatrick's. Last year we had the place booked for 80 and about 110 came. I expect double that this year. This is the one time that I'm not expecting 15 people to show up. I really expect us to be able to book out the entire place, which is insane because Fitzpatrick's is the place at Essen that people go. So we're going to do the meetup. We're going to have the 2016 Golden Elephant Award with us. Unfortunately, Simon Cutforth cannot make it. It's his son's birthday, and so he won't be there, but he will be sending a proxy. So there's that. We will be presenting that to his proxy, and just doing a meetup. It's basically just, hey, let's just hang out. We're not going to have a ton of giveaways. We're not going to do any, we'll have shirts for sale there. And that's it. But it was, if you want to meet a whole lot of designers and publishers and fellow elephants, come to that. Cause, that was the first time I ever got choked up about heavy cardboard, was that night last year. If you watch the video, you can hear me a little bit.
His voice breaks. And I didn't get to go last year. So he's telling me about it and I'm bawling.
So yeah, it was awesome seeing the turnout. That was amazing. It really was just crazy.
Yeah.
So come this year. Should be a good time. All right. So what else we got? Are you guys still into coin games? We have to get them to the table. That I'm not going to say we're going to have one during the live stream or during the patron drive, but I promise you that at some point we will get a or multiple coin games live streamed. As far as getting them to the table, it's just a matter of making the time. That's all it is.
He's talking about that Columbus sucks for flying out. So
all right. Daniel says they'll be there Friday. Yorick will be there. Cool. Good deal. Marlin. Cool. Good deal. Should be a good time, guys. It really should. So that's it, I guess. We have a meeting to go to here in about 20 minutes. So that's a good point, or a good time here. Yeah, so that's it. So I'm not kidding when I tell you I'm crazy nervous about this. I expect us to get like 6 patrons out of this. That's what I'm fearing, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, for those that have listened, I can't remember if this was a part of the SM preview show or not, but the big apprehension that a lot of people have,
it was.
Okay, whether it's some sort of crowdfunding, right? whether it's Patreon, Kickstarter, whatever, the worst thing is that you do it and nobody shows up and nothing comes of it. Or, it's stuck at $20 or whatever. And that'd be hard to take. And so, yeah, I'm legitimately scared about this.
As I talked about in my Ask the Elephant, I'm very big on manifestation and the universe bringing back to you what you put out into it. So I am not going to talk about how I feel like we're only going to get X amount. No, I am so thankful that we have reached the goal, that we're going to reach the goal that we have set out. I'm so thankful that you don't have to get another job. I am so thankful that this is going to happen for us. You have to put that out. You have to believe it.
I also believe that a dozen people would show up at Fitzpatrick's last year and we had 110. So it's not that I'm being a pessimist. I trust me, I'm very hopeful. I just am trying to mentally prepare myself. I'm just scared that it's like we've reached terminal velocity. That's my biggest fear, I think, is that, okay, this is our new normal, right? This is which, don't get me wrong, that's fucking nuts.
Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But why not?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So I'm hopeful. I'm just really scared. So I'm human.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Absolutely.
what it comes out to being. So yeah, there's no amount of the only thing that is going to get me to relax about it is seeing it successful. That's it. Because none of us know.
Be scared of that big tattoo you're going to get.
Yeah. Show me.
Marlon says I'm completely right and that I'm amazing, so you should listen to me.
No, understand. And here's the thing. And you guys, I'm sure I'm not the only one that goes through this. I know that it's probably going to do okay at worst, right? But I don't know. There's something inside me that's just. So Amanda has her voice in her head. She calls Milty.
Yeah, he's my bastard.
Right. And I guess I have my own in a sense when it comes to the fear of failure that I talked about in the Essen show. That's exactly what's going on with this. There's no doubt. Like, and also, and it's not like me being like humble brag, like, or, trying to just be like, nah, nobody's going to come and, be like, why isn't that at 1,000 yet? Right? No, it's genuine. Let me assure you, I haven't not seen 2 a.m. on the clock in 2 weeks in the anticipation for this. Now, again, this isn't me. This is me just talking, right? This is just letting y'all in on what's going on. That it's just, that's kind of the point of being able to do some of these. I can open up a little bit freer here than I would publicly, maybe sometimes. I'm just legitimately scared that people hear about this and they're like, what the hell's a patron drive? Why would I pay for something I get for free? And
there are going to be those people, and that's okay.
Oh, no, I know that. My fear is that there are all of them that are going to be like that. No. Hey, you know what? In a month, maybe I come back. We do this again next month after Essen, and y'all can make fun of me being like, psst, idiot. See, told you. Fine. Sure. I'll eat it. Okay. 100%. Okay. But until then, there's been so much work done between you and me,
and our core,
and our core, which we will give them props later on. That I just don't want it to be in vain. I don't want it to be wasted, because it's been 10 weeks of every day.
It's not going to be, though. Like Marlon said, I am understanding that, but again, you cannot fail. It's that simple. But yeah, seeing those numbers will settle that restlessness.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It will. Right. And understand, it's. I mean, yes, it's about the money. I mean, to a point, right? But it's also growing this community that we have. And I mean, it's already stupid that this is crazy. I mean, it's all because I was frustrated that I couldn't listen to people talk about the games I enjoyed. Yep. So thanks for being a part of this, guys. And thanks for being on this train with us. And we'll see where it leads together.
Whoop, whoop.
Right? Choo choo. Choo choo. So
Rob says, in fairness, I call Edward an idiot all of the time.
He does.
He really does. He calls everybody an idiot, though. Yeah. But we love you, Rob. That's fine.
So, all right. Anyway, enough rambling. Yeah. We got to go. So, yeah. Spread the word. PledgeHC.com is going to be, have people go to that site or to that web link. Okay. Yeah. More than Patreon. Don't, because this will let people choose to either go to our store or go to the Patreon, whichever they choose.
Be able to see everything in their face, and that chart that Matt made is amazing.
Yeah, and the highlights and everything, and everything's going to be laid out on that. Plus, we're going to have a edited video, edited video on there, like a welcome, why we're doing this, and here we are, and please help. So there you go, guys. All right, enough about this. So pledgehc.com and
it'll be live on Saturday.
Well, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure on Saturday, and then probably on Thursday. You guys take a look. Let us know if there's any issues, mistakes, whatever. And let us know, and then go from there. So
Andrew wants to know, will it show the total support? I assume Patreon will only show the month patrons.
Correct. And it will not, unless Matthew is able to figure out some sort of chart that we can manually update on it. So here's what we will do is, we're not going to live stream every day during the patron drive, most days, mind you. But what we're going to do is every live stream I will update where we're at and go from there. Also, this weekend we're going to have a new notification light. So it's one of the Hue light bulbs that changes color. So we're going to have a if this then that hooked up to it for new patrons whenever they come in. We're going to have the super chat on YouTube, provided we can get that damn beta software to work. And we're going to have an alert light that the mods can send like a text to the light bulb, that's such a weird sentence.
That's a weird sentence.
To where it'll light up red for alert, you guys are screwing something up during the live stream, or green whenever we get a new patron. Yeah. So we thought that'd be cool. So
yeah, exactly, Rob. It saves him from having to do that.
Exactly. So we're actually going to be getting that set up in the next 24 hours or so and test it out and make sure that works.
Yepers.
So. All right. That's all we got.
Will, I mean, the 138 box will reflect everything, right?
No, yes. Okay. So yes, okay. So here's a question that you guys can help us with real quick. So the 138 box, this is what we call our patron box, because when we moved up into the studio, we were at 138. So it's 138 box. Right now, we have 370 patrons, right, that are on Patreon. But we have some others that have PayPal'd to be patrons that are not a part of this. Here's my concern. That people, because Patreon, this is a patron drive, right? A patron being, you don't have to go through Patreon to be a Patreon or a patron. You could go through the store to patronage us. But if you go to Patreon and this says 500, but it's really only 460, people will be like, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my only concern. So maybe what we do is we start having two numbers on there.
Yeah.
Patreon and patrons.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
100% agree with what Rob just said. Yep. He said, what makes this show special is y'all, fellow elephants, part of the herd, the community that's formed around the show. So thank you. And yes, 100%.
Yep.
Yep. So thanks for the support, everybody. Thanks for listening to us ramble today. By the way, the more nervous I get, the more rambly I get, hence why here we are. So there you go. Yeah, we got a meeting to get to. So we will see you
Saturday?
Yes, we will see you all on Saturday. See you all on Slack for those that are on Slack. And thanks for the support, you guys. And please, please, please help us spread the word and put out good vibes.
Yes.
Okay? Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Thanks. Bye.